embedding yourself and then making yourself mission critical gives you pricing power, whether it's SAP, Microsoft, or any number of high-flying SaaS companies. So in Siemens, digital factory is roughly, let's call it 40% of profits, and about half of that is software, other half is hardware. So the software business is as intricate as designing computer chips. They bought a company called Mentor Graphics. And that competes, it's a much larger version of a company that Australian investors may know, Altium, which is on a very, very high multiple. But they also design whole cars, and they can create a digital twin. So what's a digital twin? It's a virtual prototype. You can test it in a virtual wind tunnel, a virtual racetrack, so designing cars. Then you can also plan the production process, build the production process, use hardware to control it and software to control it. So PLM is what product lifecycle management is one part, and then production control, design control is the other part. Industrial 4.0 is all about digitization of the production process, and Siemens is superbly positioned for that. All of that on a P of 13 would indicate that maybe we're missing something. So what's the rest of the business? Well, the rest of the business, let's call it 65% non-digital factory, is probably more what you would akin to a long duration in infrastructure exposures, like high-speed rail, rolling stock and signalling, power generation, power grid equipment, and then you have the renewable business, wind turbines, and then finally a healthcare business. And Siemens is sort of slowly spinning out some of those businesses to try and put an independent valuation on them. Digital factory is a great secular story, but the hardware component certainly has cyclicality, whereas those infrastructure spending exposed businesses tend to be much less cyclical. Probably the one in the short term that's experiencing a down cycle is just gas turbine demand, which has been low, but we actually think that can turn around relatively quickly because of the fact that the Europeans are now putting a price on carbon at $27 a tonne. It actually makes sense for European utilities to shut down coal and build gas and build more renewables and to invest in grid, all of the things that Siemens does. Maybe the market's just seeing Siemens as a bit of a messy conglomerate, and we think that's unfair. We think it's essentially in the last 5 to 10 years, it's really refocused